And yep, yeah, there's that slight problem there. And of course, gotta love YouTube when it says start streaming, and apparently it doesn't want to work. But this is why I start during qualifying. Not gonna roll the intro again. Just not 100% sure if that went on the actual stream or not. I'm gonna look back on the preview player, and I'm not seeing it there. So, nonetheless, though, this is still underway for qualifying, and 175 laps here at Five Flag Speedway for the 4th annual SARA Fall Brawl in the Tour Modified. You have open setups, no faster pairs, and 1 extra set of tires are available. So it's going to be basically 1 pit stop available. So yep, now I just got confirmation from Matt now that he sees it. So yeah, a little bit of technical issues on this side, and that's the fun part about being a producer.
Yeah, producer and announcer.
Oh yeah, doing double duty here, but hey, that's the more fun part. But again, on the bright side, it was during qualifying, and I started way earlier, so basically about 2 to 3 minutes remaining. And we are going to go ahead and grid up, and we'll see if the... Nope, looks like the grid is still set for the actual feature. So we will give that out. We use the results for now to show the actual grid. And if we can find everything okay, and we can, we're going to have Russell Brown Jr. and Matthew Eddy starting rows 1 and 2. Positions 1 and 2. Drew Krybick starting 3rd. 4th place is going to be Scott Dunlap. Ryan Doucette starts 5th. Kyle Souza 6th. Clay Snyder starts in 7th. And Kyle Case starts in the 8th place position.
Yeah, we're going to take 6 cars from this qualifying event. So 8 go in, 6 come out. So we'll see what happens here. Or Gary, are we going to take everybody since we're short on cars?
I believe so. I'm going to double check on that. I was told, yeah, 34 total cars entered, 30 will make the race. But I was told by Matt at the beginning of this that before the qualifying went underway that we have about 27 total people, so everybody should be able to make it.
Awesome. Well, that's going to take a little bit of pressure off of these guys in the qualifying races, but nevertheless, though, still want to finish as good as possible in these qualifiers so you can propel yourself up the field when we actually get to this feature here later on tonight. Russell Brown, Matthew Eddy, all of these guys. We saw these guys in the Dirt Street Stock last night, coming back for round 2 of the Fall Brawl here this week, and we'll see how it goes for them. They're rolling off now.
Yeah, I believe 2 pace laps here at Five Flags, so we'll find out if the pace truck pulls off or not, but for the time being, everything should be fine. A 50-lap heat race, and it's going to be one of, double checking here, 2 heat races, and we may be actually skipping the B-main race tonight on purpose, so everything should be a-okay from here on out. Like Michael mentioned, just a little bit of just a lot less pressure. And yeah, 2 laps here is the pace car. I believe I mentioned pace truck. I'm so used to the dirt race last night. But for those of you that are just now tuning in, I am Gary Weaver doing double duty here as producer and commentator. Michael Conti giving his time out of the off-season of the Peak Series and pretty much anything else to do a little bit of a trial run here if he ever decides to do broadcasting in the future.
Yeah, try to get my feet wet here, and had a good time last night, so hopefully this race is just as good. Last night was pretty awesome.
And this night is going to be more than likely the exact same amount of excitement. Pace car pulls off the raceway as we see the tire skid marks, and the green flag is out on already. Russell Brown Jr. with a great start off the main start, and already Matthew Eddy is going to get shuffled down to 3rd place as Drew Krybick moves his way up to 2nd.
Yeah, battle is for 3rd going into turn 3 here, side by side between Doucette. He's going to clear him right there. That moves that Eddy car back another spot. He's got the battle coming from the inside there. That's Kyle Souza in that 13 machine. He's going to try to clear Eddy off the board.
Now trying, he'll get it off of turn number 4, and just behind them, Scott Dunlap is all over that back bumper of the 88 as much as he can be at the very least. He's definitely showing his momentum very quickly and very early on, so he definitely wants to get up to the top 5 maybe even farther up if you can.
And we saw Dunlap in the street stock race last night. Had a decent showing, got caught up in a few accidents early on in the feature, but had some good speed. So we'll see what Dunlap can do in this Tour Modified. But Gary, completely different racing tonight than what we saw last night. Different cars, different surface. So, you know, just because you were good last night or maybe weren't good last night doesn't really dictate how you're going to run tonight. These guys are all back on the asphalt. We're going to see who can come to the forefront here.
Now watching from the gearbox camera of Russell Brown as he leads the way, and Brian Doucette, you can see the difference in the middle of that comparison as well. Just had to take a double check at the stream just to make sure everything is a-okay, and it is. So but essentially the same gap right now between Ryan Doucette and Russell Brown, but it's closing in ever so slightly. In terms of lap times, well, about a half a tenth faster is that number 55 Doucette.
Yeah, about a half a tenth faster, and with a gap of about 3.5 tenths, he'll be there in about 7 laps or so. So if he can keep that up, he'll get there. But just like you saw with the dirt race last night, the line is probably going to move around tonight. Not so much in these qualifiers with only a few cars out here, but come race time, we're going to see these guys really start to search around for grip as those tires wear out. But Gary, noticed in practice, tires seem to have some good longevity here tonight. Can really click off a bunch of fast laps in a row, and doesn't really appear to be a lot of fall off early on the run. So for a guy like Doucette, who's running down the leader, that's good for him. That gives him plenty of time to get there.
And Doucette's got a lot of time, and he's already shown that within the first 10, now 11, well, working 11 laps of this race, almost on the back bumper there. Off of turn number 2 was Doucette on the number 70, but 55 is doing a great job right now for the time being, right on top of that back bumper. I think he's going to do a little bit of a bump and run. I mean, these things are just like the dirt street stocks from last night. These cars are also built like tanks, so Doucette's going to opt for the middle lane, not exactly the high lane, but he'll try and find some grip somewhere on this raceway.
It looks like he's opening up his entry a little bit and diamonding off the corner. Right there, he stayed a little bit higher, but he's getting a really good run up off at 2 and 4. He's going to look high again right here and cut it down, and it looks like he's able to rotate the center a little bit than our leader right now as he looks to the bottom.
Yeah, he's got that lane on the inside, so like you mentioned, just cut down to the bottom, and he managed to do that off of turn number 4. This could bring the 12 of Krybik into this battle in the process. And maybe even the 13 of Souza. Everyone is slowly starting to come back together in this top 4 again with the top 4. Just like from last night. Again, starting to see a pattern here, but on the gearbox, though, of this number 55, Doucette, as he took the lead last time around, starting to slowly pull away as much as he can, but in the main race, though, it's going to be 175 laps. This is one of 2 qualifying races, so these drivers are going to be running, doing rough math, about 275 laps total, just not even counting qualifying.
Yeah, and that's a longer race for this style of series. We talked about this last night with the street stocks. You know, 100-lap main event for those guys. That's a little bit longer than you'd see at your local short track in real life. Same thing here, 175 laps in the Tour Modified. That's an endurance race by these guys' standards. So, yeah, you're going to really have to keep your equipment under you. Like we said, tires might not mean a whole lot, but again, Gary, some strategy is going to come into play here. In that feature race, these guys are going to have the option to put a brand new set of tires on there. So will tires outweigh track position or vice versa? We'll just have to kind of wait and see how that one plays out.
Yeah, Krybik to the inside, and in terms of tires, we'll talk about that in a second, but Krybik moves up to 2nd place now, and Russell Brown, he may have a short run car, but then again, it does take a while for some long run cars to really get into the groove as the track has to really warm up. So this track surface is essentially fresh, not count while also including, in a way, practice and qualifying. So right now this is the qualifying race, the first of 2 as a caution comes out. That's a 16 of Kyle Case on the back straightaway.
Yeah, and Case was running caboose on the field there, a few seconds off the car in front of him. Looks like he just got loose off of turn 2, and yeah, just kind of a lazy spin there. Didn't really make any contact, so he'll be good. He'll be a lap down, but nonetheless, car is still in one piece, so that always helps.
Yeah, he came very close, and just a little bit of a nudge at the very end of that incident. I'm taking one more look at this, and I was about to say on the topic of tires, these drivers have at least one chance. Essentially did a little bit of rough math, and it's going to take about 87.5 laps or so for the tires to really get, changed or spread out evenly, I should say. So 87, 88 laps, and you could pit there, and everything will be pretty much a-okay. So first caution of the night, as again, first qualifying race of 2. Usually should be seeing everybody head into the main event tonight for 175 laps.
Take a breather here, let these guys get regrouped, but like you had mentioned before, Gary, it looked like we were spreading the field out a little bit. Then Doucette took the lead from Russell Brown in that 70 car, and it brought everybody back together. So I think what that's telling us is you get 2 cars side by side on this track, it slows them down a ton, unlike what we had seen last night in the dirt street stock. So racing tonight, close quarters, is going to be the way to go, but how much do you race somebody before you say to yourself, well, we're bringing everybody else closer to us? When do you just throw in the towel and let that guy go?
The thing is, I don't know, if you're on the top side and you have somebody passing you, I'd say just let them by and let them wear out their tires a little bit more than you should. So maybe that could be what the 70 is doing. He could be saving his tires for a little bit later on in the run, or a little bit later on in this race. I thought the lights were going to go out this time by. I forgot this isn't dirt track, so just a little bit more extended, but should be going green with 24 laps to go the next time around, once the pace car has its lights off.
That'll put us to about the halfway point, so re-rack and regroup here and get ready for the second half of this race. But not really expecting to see a whole lot crazy happen right here. Only 7 cars really still in contention. Speed difference seems to be pretty decent between your top 2 and maybe your back half of this field. So we'll see what these guys can do. They're all locked in, so don't expect anything too crazy. But as you had mentioned before, a little bit of money on the line here tonight in these qualifiers, so still something to race for sure.
Yeah, $5 goes to the race 1 and race 2 winner. If you win the feature race, you instantly get $50. So essentially, you'd have about $55 total in terms of winnings, and in complete total winnings, that's 225, which I believe was up from 210 last night. So pace car pulls off. Ryan Doucette brings them to the green flag. Already a great start by him and Russell. So, sorry, by him and Krybik. Russell actually did get a good start. He'll clear Kyle Souza for 3rd place off of turn number 2.
We'll see what Krybik can do right here. He was just about even with Doucette before that caution came out. So we've got a heat cycle on the tires. Probably not going to make a big difference, but let's see what that 12 car can do here off the jump.
And we're going to have a very close eye on that number 12 machine and take a look at the driver comparison between both drivers. Right now, it's about 2.2 seconds, so about 2 to 3 tenths of a second separating them. Virtually equal lap times between the entire top, looks to be top 5, pretty much the entire field actually, but Doucette's last lap time was a 14.710, then 6 thousandths of a second faster was the 12 of Krybik. So again, those tires from that caution, they did cool down, but we're coming at 20 laps to go here, and it's going to be pretty intense as there's a battle in the back between Snyder and Eddie for position number 6. Snyder gets by just fine.
And back up to the front here, it looks like Krybik and Doucette are just so close with lap times. About 300ths was the difference right there to the favor of Krybik this time around, to 71 on Krybik, 73 on Doucette. So it looks like Krybik's got a little bit of pace on our leader right now. He's got about 18 laps to figure out a way around though.
Yeah, coming to the line, 18 laps to go, and something I wanted to point out, unfortunately, Matthew Eddy, he started up in 2nd place. He's fallen all the way back to what is now 7th. Pretty much the lowest he could be at right now, so hopefully he'll be able to regroup in the future, make some adjustments in between those times. So we may be seeing Eddie again. He qualified 2nd. Again, he could also be saving his tires, or he's probably just trying to be as careful as possible and just make it to the end now that he knows that he pretty much can be in. He's already guaranteed to be in.
Yeah, no sense in doing anything crazy in this qualifier here, but it looks like he is struggling a little bit pace-wise. Our leader's last lap is a 14.78 to Eddie's 14.97. So about 2 tenths worth of speed that it looks like that 88 car is down right now to our leader. Yeah, we've got some times these guys will be able to tune on the cars a little bit in between the qualifiers and the main, so we'll see if that 88 car can't make some good adjustments here after this race is over.
And meanwhile, though, 14 laps to go this time around, and well, Krybik has not really fallen off of that back bumper. Still relatively equal lap times between Krybik and Doucette. Russell is still hanging on for third at the time being, but Souza is right on that back bumper, trying to find, again, some way around as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that's the best battle on the track right now. That's for third. That's Russell Brown in the 70, Souza in the 13. Souza's definitely got the speed, and it looks like he can get through the center a lot better than Russell right now. Just nowhere to go. And that's the tricky thing about these short tracks. You can be a lot faster than the guy in front of you, but there's just nowhere to take that run sometimes. You just have to time it right, and Souza's going to have to figure that out if he wants to get by that 70 car.
And I think Souza may have gotten in the back bump, gotten the outside wall just a little bit, but he's still riding relatively fine, and we saw the 12 for a half second there, just on top of that back bumper again, almost less than half a car length away from that back bumper to 55, so Krybik is probably starting to say, okay, you know what, now it's time for me to go. Last time around, though, he was a little bit slower, but now that the laps are counting down, it's going to be go time, essentially, for that number 12 of Krybik.
Yeah, 9 to go, so Krybik really needs to make something happen. He charges the entry right there and behind Ryan Doucette. Can't make anything happen, though. Charge the entry, and he give up a little bit on exit, so he's going to have to find a happy medium here. But he's got the pace. He's got the pace, and that's what's most important. He may not win this thing, or maybe he does, but either way, though, he knows he has a good piece going into main later tonight.
Yeah, he's got a great position. Going to take one more look at third place for the time being. Right now, we're going to head back, and just as we switch back, there goes the 12 to the inside. Almost dead to first place. Oh, heavy impact.
Ooh.
Ah, man.
Right there. Right there. That's the risk versus reward. Do you go for that top spot in this qualifier, or do you just hang in there and save your stuff a little bit, be a little cautious, and finish second? So
I think
you got to give him credit, though. He tried.
Yeah, he got loose on the apron on the inside, but I think he also got a piece of the inside wall coming into turns 1 and 2. And take one more look at that just to be sure. About 1/16 of a second, so give us just a little bit of time. And from this angle, you can't really tell, but TV2 shows nothing, but he is right on that outside wall, the inside wall rather, so he has run that deadly close. So that could have been what gotten him initially loose for the time being, but unfortunately, though, he may have gassed it up too soon and then just spun it around a little bit too early.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. He had a lot of speed in this qualifier, but the good news is he'll get that car reset and repaired, and he'll be good to go come main time.
Yeah, hopefully he will be able to learn from that mistake. Of course, that's pretty much how racing is. You learn from your mistake and you say, well, at this point, well, in this situation at least, Krybik can now say, okay, so here's what I did wrong. Here's what I can do in the next race, or in that case, in his case, the feature, since we should be skipping the B main. But for the time being, though, I'd like to welcome you once again to the Racing Line Broadcasting Network, and as you can see from the top middle bar, it's the 4th annual SARA Fall Brawl with the tour mods at 5 Flags. This is the first of 2 qualifying races. Both are 50 laps, and we're just about to wrap up the first one. Doucette has been he's been essentially on a tear for this entire race, but he's going to have Russell Brown on his outside. Souza will be on the inside, and double file, going to have a 2-lap shootout for the win. Nope, never mind.
Oh, nope.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just realized the lights weren't off on the pace car. I saw them going double file, so it could be a 1-lap shootout even. So yeah, that's what we're gonna. Oh man, this is gonna be shades of last night at the Dirt Street Stocks at Volusia, 1-lap shootout. Except this time it's in a qualifying race instead of the main, so everyone should be relatively fine.
A little bit less on the line tonight at this point in time versus that 1-lapper last night. But either way, though, this is going to put 70 car in a good position to pounce on Doucette right here. If he can get a good restart and be side by side with him into turn 1, that might give him the opportunity to come away the winner of this first qualifier.
This is going to be absolutely amazing to see for this final shootout. Again, Souza, like you mentioned, starting third, he's going to be on top of that back bumper, the 55. You could be seeing a bump and run. I mean, this is a short track, so why would you not expect that? We're going to find out what everyone has in store. Pace car pulls off to pit road. Souza almost jumped into the back bumper. One lap shootout here as, well, Ryan Doucette pretty much has to win already in the bag.
Yeah, he's got a 3 or 4 car length lead, so he'll sail to the win here. Nothing crazy happens in 3 and 4. Souza to second, rounding 3 and 4. Doucette off of corner number 4, and he'll take the first qualifier tonight.
And Ryan Doucette gets an extra $5. I'm going to quickly show you the finishing results, and right when we do that, that's not going to work out apparently. So very quickly moving on into the next. There we go. We almost had the results for a second. Some fun technical issues, but well, we will use the ticker instead. Good thing that exists. We have Adam Jocelyn, Derek Robinson, Jared Boyros in first through third. Ty Spearman starts fourth. Fifth will be Donald Clark. Sixth is going to be Kyle Odanik. And seventh, rounding up the field, is going to be Samuel Roush for the second 50-lap qualifier race tonight.
Have some pretty good cars in this one here. We saw Robinson, we saw Boyros last night, Spearman, Clark, Roush. So a lot of return drivers here from the initial night of this SARA Fall Brawl. So these guys are going to come out here in these tour mods tonight and race it away in this qualifier number 2.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting. Just had to restart the overlay, so hopefully everything should be working properly. But nonetheless, though, of course, we're on the latest build. At least it's what I am, the alpha build. So can understandably expect a few bugs here or there. But that's the fun part about the alpha build, plus animations. So that's why we got the fade in, fade out, everything else. But right now, for the time being, though, second qualifier race. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and looks like Derek Robinson has a little bit of a SARA logo. Yeah, there's a SARA TV. I believe he's actually the, I sort of talked with him last night and we jinxed him, so, well, let's hope that doesn't happen. I'm going
Don't
to
talk about him anymore.
Yeah, too late. I just said, let's hope that doesn't happen. Twice now, so. Oh, boy. Adam Jocelyn down in the way as the pace car pulls off pit road. Second qualifier race is underway. Derek Robinson goes to second. Third place, Spearman almost cuts the front nose off of Boyros there. And side-by-side battle for fifth between the 21 of Odanik and the 18 of Clark.
Odanik's way up there on the outside, and he'll concede to Clark right there in the 18 car, and we'll go single file first through last.
Yeah, quickly single file. I feel like that's going to be something we're going to see. We saw the 21 make a look to the inside, decide to call it off on the zone and not really risk anything. So very smart move, especially since we're only 3 laps in and everyone's guaranteed pretty much a race in. So right now you can put third through, looks to be 7th, third through 6th rather, pretty much through a blanket. I mean, look at how close they are. My goodness, there's a
little contact
effect. Yep, 21 to the top side for 5th.
I think the 46 car, that's Boyros. I think Boyros has a little bit more speed than Spearman in front of him, and I think Spearman's kind of holding up this pack of 4. Whenever you see a bunch of cars line up that closely together behind another car, and there's really nobody in front of that leading car, you know there's a little bit of speed loss right there with the front of the train. So 92 Spearman, he's going to move around his line a little bit, see if he can pick up some speed, but 46 of Boyros is looking to get around him as soon as possible.
Yeah, hopefully he can, and looks like Donald Clark is going to join in on this as we see him go right past the start-finish line for a few moments. But right now, Bell up front, almost at least, as Derek Robinson was pretty much on top of that back bumper of the 61 a few laps ago, and he's still trying to fight for it. Moves to the inside for first place. Could be redemption for Volusia. I heavily emphasize could be because, well, anything can happen essentially. So Jocelyn goes down to second place, and Robinson now up to first.
Long way to go still, but looks like Robinson definitely has a good car here tonight, running low 14.7s, and from what we saw in that first race, that'll be some good lap time here.
Boyros was very loose through turns 1 and 2. Almost had the same thing happen just like the last heat race. My goodness. Well, he managed to save it, though. He got very loose and dropped from about 4th to 7th for the time being. And
you know, those are the risks these guys can take because everybody's locked in here tonight. Yeah, you might not get as good of a qualifying position if you don't finish well in one of these heats, but you can test the limits and see what your car's really got, knowing that you're fully locked into the race here later on.
Yeah, you can take pretty much any risk that you want. So once again, hopefully we should be skipping the B main race, which I believe is scheduled to be 30 laps. But aside from that, though, 175 lap main event coming up after this. But we do not get a 50 lap B main actually, so it'll be pretty interesting. 225 total in winnings, and everyone is single filed out for the most part, so we can all see for the time being. Everyone's just running the inside lane, and we did mention, Michael, you definitely mentioned earlier that it's going to be a while for some of these drivers to move up the racetrack a little bit. I feel like we'll be seeing that probably about halfway in the main event.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. If you get all 27 cars or so out there in the main race, you know, it's not going to move probably within the first 10, 20, or maybe even 50 laps, but I would say right around the halfway point, when the tires get worn out and the track really gets rubbered in and hot in the bottom, that middle lane may actually be the preferred groove. So that's definitely something to look for, but right now, Derek Robinson 16 into this thing, he is just setting sail and driving away from these guys.
And he's doing a great job. He's got a very large gap of 1.4 seconds, and then Kai Spearman is, in a way, holding up everyone else directly behind him, but he's going to fend off that third place position as much as he can, and hopefully for himself, he doesn't get a little bit of a bumper. You can see right there from Kyle Danik's front bumper, that's how close it is, and, oh, you can see, again, these things are built like tanks, essentially, so that little push bar on the front can definitely be put to some good use.
Yeah, sure can. The only vulnerable spot in these cars are those exposed wheels and tires. You can really get some pretty serious suspension damage with a wheel-to-wheel contact. And it's pretty easy to do when you're running as closely together as these guys do here at Five Flag Speedway. So just got to be careful with that, though. But I think we've got a battle heating up for the 5th spot. Clark in the bottom, Spearman up top.
It looks to be for, 4th place, and, well, Kyle Danik finally made his way by. A little bit of a bumper, though, to the 92 when he slid up the racetrack, that was 18, but either way, just a lot of action starting to completely ramp up ever so slightly. Spearman's on the outside, Samuel Roush from 27 in that red and gray Toro Modified. He's on the inside, and Jared Boyros trying to make some type of redemption. He got loose, though, and we saw a big wiggle from him coming off of turn number 2 there.
Yeah, I think Spearman, Boyros, a lot of those guys have some handling issues that they'll have to address before the main if they're going to be in contention for that race win this evening. But right now, Donald Clark in the 18 car didn't really fire off strong, Gary, but it looks like he's really starting to make inroads on those 2 cars in front of him for 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, hopefully he can, and we're starting to see a battle heat up for 2nd place, and that is Kyle Danik to the inside of Adam Jocelyn, trying to say otherwise on that 1st place position. And we saw the gap visibly from the main tower camera, or the main booth camera, I should say. So that's how much of a gap it is. Almost 3 seconds now between Robinson and now the 21 of O'Danik. As he moves up to the 2nd place position, and he will start to slowly pull away, setting equal lap times to that of the 69 of Robinson.
And that's really good progress up through the field for the 21 of O'Danik. He started 6th, then 7 here in this heat number 2. So he's driven all the way pretty much from the back to 2nd, and like you said, he's pretty close to the leader's lap times. Let's see this time around, a 92 for Robinson to an 88 for O'Danik. So it looks like that 21 car has some good pace here later on in the run.
Problems with Adam Jocelyn, may be out of fuel.
Oh, that wouldn't be good.
His engine is still running, so maybe it's maybe, well, he has still running for the time being. Although he probably did get a notice from his spotter that, hey, we're running low on fuel, so that could be the issue to pull it in early. So hopefully he will be able to make it to the main race and just redo his fuel. It is understandable, though, that he doesn't refuel, since, again, he's pretty much already into the main event of the race. So closest battle looks to be, for the time being, Donald Clark in third, Samuel Roush in fourth with 28 laps to go.
And Roush is another driver who had started deep in this field. He started, I believe, yeah, he started seventh. So all the way at the back, and he's working on the third place right now. Donald Clark in an 18 car.
Oh.
Clark hits the wall. It looks like Roush will capitalize on that and go on by.
And Boros up to fifth, so that 46 is already on a small redemption moment as of right now, so hopefully he can advance a little bit more, and with that mistake that Clark made last time around, well, that could be, again, just another capitalization for that 46.
Yeah, it looks like the 46 is making his way back to the 18 car. Clark hits the apron there off of turn 4, and that may open the door for Boyros. But Boyros really has nowhere to go right now with that 18 sitting right in the racing line.
Yeah, and we can see ever so slightly that I think they're taking a little bit of a higher entry as well into the corner. Yep, that's definitely the same thing for the 18, although he's probably going to let that 46 by as well. He's taking that middle groove, so up to fourth place. Almost. At least across the start-finish line. Maybe? No, a little bit loose, actually. Now he's up to fourth. There he goes. Now he's up to fourth in that number 46.
That was a tough pass to make, but like we had said before, I think that's only going to get tougher as the night goes on. That bottom lane is going to get hot. It's going to lose grip. It's going to lose speed. And those guys in the middle lane, they may not be as quick as you, but they can probably hold you off for quite some time if you get caught in the bottom. So look for that to become more of a story here later on tonight, for sure.
Yeah, track temperature is definitely going to be something to talk about. Where the rubber is starting to get worn in is also another thing to definitely be talked about. It's the most interesting part of iRacing. It's still a work in progress in a way. It's pretty much complete at this point, but it's going to be a little bit overhauled once day to night comes, so that's going to completely throw a huge wrench into all of this. So probably the next time SARA does this, it's probably going to go into probably from late afternoon into the night, so that would be very, very interesting, from hot track temperatures to insanely cool. Man, I'm already looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be great for the drivers, but it's going to be a pain in the butt for the guys that are setting these cars up, trying to make changes. The quicker you go, the different you have to set the car up. So it's going to be a challenge for us next year in the Peak Series and all the way down to SARA and a bunch of the other leagues with day to night. It's going to be a challenge to get those things set up, but with about 10 laps to go here, O'Danick really hasn't closed in on Robinson anymore. He's still a couple seconds back. If Robinson can hold on and just keep that thing straight, I think he'll have it.
I think Spearman may also be out of fuel as well, because he's also pulling off. He's going to pull it into, yeah, he's going to pull it off a little bit earlier on, so he could also be out of fuel in the process. That is quite interesting. So that's something that's something they'll have to account for, though. Maybe they just set up specifically for these two qualifying races, or this second qualifying race. So I'm pretty sure they'll definitely be double checking their fuel load for the main race.
Yeah, they'll probably be filling them up pretty much to the top for the main race, and hopefully that gets them to the finish. We don't want to see cars run out of gas. That's that's never good for anybody, and definitely not for the drivers who have put a lot of time into making these cars as good as they are for tonight. So hopefully we can get those problems figured out on the driver's end, and hopefully everybody can make it on gas in the future.
Yeah, then again, of course, even though it does say in the rules, essentially, well, not exactly the rules, but I guess the rules would say one set of extra tires available. It says absolutely nothing about how many times you can or cannot pit. It doesn't say anything about fuel either, so that's probably going to be a thing that's going to be, and then what, have at it with fuel or however many times you want to pit for damage. I think the only thing that's going to be enforced is the amount of tires, but Derek Robinson clearly doesn't need those because he's on 2.5 laps to go, and he is, well, now he's 2 seconds away. Kyle O'Danick has closed the gap since then.
And something else to make note of here, 49 laps into the run, running 15.0s on Robinson. His quickest lap of the night was a 14:52. So about 5 to 6 tenths worth of fall off in 50 laps time. That's going to beg the question, do you take tires or do you stay out in that feature race when the opportunity comes? But we'll find that out later. White flag for qualifier number 2. Robinson is going around 3 and 4, and Gary, it looks like he's going to take this one home.
Yeah, we're going to pull up the results as quickly as possible. So there are the results across the line. Robinson, Odanik, Roush, Boyros, Clark, Spearman, and Adam Jocelyn rounding out the qualifier, the second qualifier of the night. And it looks like this one's probably going to be skipped. Is this an impromptu heat race 3 I'm seeing? Because I feel like that's something I'm seeing, but we'll get a double check on that. Consultation race, actually, top 3 advance. Basically, top 3 advance is also 50 laps. And I'm pretty sure they're probably just going to skip right through this. I'm not sure yet, but hopefully we'll get word on that. It's Eddie, Jocelyn, and Krybik. All 3 will advance to the 175 lap main. Question is, will they let them race it out, though, is my question.
Yeah, it looks like they may. I don't know. They're sitting on the grid waiting to go, so we'll see if we roll off here.
Yeah, unless I hear anything otherwise from Matt Wolf, then I can assume for the time being that they will be running this. So as far as I know, they're running this, and Krybik is probably just gonna... Well, he's already laying back, and it's not even the start of the race yet. So maybe they said that they're not doing this yet. Maybe Krybik just wants to say, you know what, you guys race it out. I'm just going to do my own thing. So as laying back. So it is understandable though. We just got an update. Let's find out. Trying to advance might need to wait until green. So alright, so yeah, they may advance the session automatically at this rate. So that is understandable.
Yeah, Matt is over the radio right now giving these guys instructions. So we're listening in to see what he says here, but it sounds like we're going to run this thing out.
We will find out when we hit the green. But in the meantime, well, yeah, let's find out. Maybe just a one-lap shootout, see whoever gets to the line first. Unfortunately, Krybik, I don't think he cares because he's gonna automatically make it. So I guess the first one in whatever position. So impromptu race, and well, it looks like we already have the top 3. So we'll find out if anything else comes.
There we go. We're going to the next session now. We're good.
All right. So yeah, there's. Yep. All right. So
back to the line, Eddie wins. It was exciting.
Eddie's just going to run this out to the end, essentially. And the end, I mean, until whenever he can. So, impromptu caution, and by that I mean in terms of ATVO, the track itself is green because it's only 3 people. So, advance, yeah, I just got word that they may actually have to run this out. So, we're going to keep this up. So, essentially, this could be a full race for these 3 drivers to see who goes where in the main. That's actually kind of a good thing though, because we'll see who comes out where. I think Krybik may be regretting starting to lay back on the start.
Well, come on, 61 car. Let's put on a race here.
Yeah, I think Jocelyn's going to try and run this out.
There he goes.
He is. Yep, he's going to earn it. He decides, you know what, not going to advance. Well, then I'll just do it myself. So he'll advance his position up to first. And I think Eddie just decided to let him by instead. So a very familiar position for Eddie, unfortunately, though. But on the bright side, it is only 2nd place. So Krybik may have something to say about this. And there he goes.
Jocelyn just spun it out. Regroup, and we'll have our first caution of consolation race number 1.
Yeah, we may just turn this into a small podcast style with a little bit of B-roll, essentially, since Matt is open to having pretty much anybody either go to commercial or interview. So, of course, I'm going for interview. That's the fun part about this. So we will see if we can get Matt Rolfe in here. So let's see they're going to, yeah, it's gonna pretty much make these drivers run this race. So see if we can get somebody in here. We'll go for, let's go for Derek Robinson, since he did win the 2nd race, I believe the 2nd qualifier he did. So let's see if he's available. Derek Robinson, do you have us?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, he won the second qualifier race, and thankfully, commentator's curse did not happen this time. So, sorry for that last night, just in case you went back to watch that. But since it's only a 3-car race, essentially, we decided to Nat's open to having some of you guys interviewed. So, how's the track out there for that second qualifier?
Track was fine. The car was fast. We had a couple of teammates in that first heat race, and they gave us some feedback on the setup, and I made some adjustments going into that heat based off of that. And car was hooked up there for probably about the first 30 laps or so. Then it started getting just a little bit tight on me on entry, so I made another adjustment or two. And hopefully it ends up working out here going into the feature.
Yeah, it's going to be quite exciting, and especially since the some drivers may have run out of fuel, I believe, in the second qualifier as well. But see, probably going to ask Matt this next question, so we're going to go ahead and let you go. But have fun out there in the 175 lap event.
All right, bud. Thanks.
That was Derek Robinson, winner of the second qualifier race the last time around, and we'll see if we can get Matt in here. More than likely, he's going to explain again, just like last night, about what happened. But of course, technical issues always happen at some point. So, Matt Rolfe, do you have us?
I do.
Yeah, well, we decided to go the interview route and just have this race as a little bit of B-roll. So, yeah, it's quite interesting though. So, as far as the race goes, how's the running of this event going?
Well, like you said, we got to run this B main. Unfortunately, we tried to advance it because not everyone showed up tonight. So everyone's going to make the race. We thought we could just skip through this, but the limitations of some of the sessions here with e-races and stuff, it's not letting us, so that's why we're doing this. But yeah, once we do get to the race, we'll have a quick warm-up for these guys for a couple minutes, and then we'll get right to the race. It's 175 laps. It's a long race for these cars. Normally we run these on Tuesday nights in our regular season for the Callaway Investments Modified Series, and we run 125 laps, somewhere in there. So it's a little bit longer here tonight. We do have an extra set of tires, so you're going to see some strategy come into play. Tires aren't huge on these cars, but they do make just enough of a difference where I think everyone's going to take them at some point. Normally you guys wait as long as possible to take tires, but since they don't fall off as much as other cars, you might see them come down earlier than normal and get some track position. But it's a long race, so we'll kind of see how it shakes out, see how the cautions fall. But yeah, it should be a good race. It won't be quite as action-packed as it looked like on dirt last night, as we saw here. But in the car, these cars are a handful. They're fast, they're powerful, so it's going to be some pretty tight racing, and everyone's going to have some white knuckles as they're trying to pass guys, because it gets pretty tight, as you saw in the qualifiers. Drew was a good example of that. He had a good spot, good run going, and just a little mistake there, putting the car to the max, and it spun around on him. So we'll see how the race goes here later on.
Yeah, it's trying to do redemption on that at the moment. So before we go ahead and let you go continue to race or run this, as far as pit stops go, they can take only one set of tires, which we know, but are they allowed to pit as many times as possible for damage or fuel?
Yeah, if they get damaged, they can come down as much as they want. I know at least my team, we're planning on running the proper amount of fuel to run the entire race, but that's another part of the strategy, is since we are getting tires, some guys might start the race with less fuel, knowing that they'll take fuel later on. But that could be a gamble too, because if you don't have enough to make it and we go green to the finish, then it's a gamble that's going to go the wrong way. So like I said, I think strategy could be a factor in this. You get some fast guys up there in the top 12, guys like Colin Allman, Majeski, Jimmy Mullis, Connor Blaze. Those are guys we see up front week in, week out, not only in these cars, but some of the other ones too. But if someone else down below those guys can hit on the right strategy, we could see things shaking up later on.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very exciting 175 laps, and more than likely it'll be quickly single file, and we'll see some double file here and there. It's going to be even more interesting to see the surface wear in, but we're going to go ahead and let you go, so good luck out there for tonight.
All right, thanks.
And that pretty much does it for the pretty much podcast portion, but I'm kind of interested in this race now, as Adam Jocelyn made his way up to second, forcing Eddie down to third. Krybeck is up in first, and after the bad luck he had in the first qualifier, I'm pretty sure everyone else watching is interested in seeing how this turns out for Krybeck.
Yeah, Krabik had a lot of pace in that first one, so we'll see what he can do here. 14.75 for Krabik to an 81 and an 84 behind him. So about a tenth or so, half a tenth to a tenth on the other two in this field. So Krabik definitely has some pace here tonight. Just got to keep it in one piece. It's the main thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the cause for him spinning out the first time around was that it was, again, too wide, and he's running essentially the same line that he was running before, so it could have been the, pretty much the pressure that he had, the, not the air pressure, of course, but he did enter lower, and we can see from that angle there, he entered a little bit higher with about half a car length to about a car length between him and the wall. Last time he did that, and last time he was actually next to the wall, he did spin out, so that could have been one reason why he spun out again, just pushing it too soon. And again, I think like you mentioned as well, Michael, was that this track starts to wear out just a little bit more on the bottom side, so we could be seeing people move up one lane.
And it sounds like from what Robinson was saying, the car did go away after 30-35 laps or so. It was on the tight side more than anything, but again, it goes back to our point, if you're tight at the bottom and the bottom gets slick and it wears away, that middle, I think, is really going to be the place to be later on in this race. Even in some of these heats, we've seen the guys move up a little bit and make some pretty decent time. Right now, Eddie is actually up the track just a bit more than what we've seen, and he's really not running too bad lap time-wise either. So these guys are taking this quick race here to figure out what's going to work, and hey, maybe they'll find something that'll work to their advantage.
And they can treat this as a little bit of a practice session as well, just a little bit of extra time, especially since this is about 50 laps, and they definitely do not have that time in the roughly about 5 minutes of warm-up that we're going to have after this. So again, it's something to really look out for in this race, because Matthew Eddy is already doing something that a lot of people, a lot of the other drivers could be watching, because a little bit of a higher entry. I think Jocelyn was a little bit higher in the corner as well, instead of on that faded white line. So this is going to be a very interesting race in terms of what line and what strategy some of these drivers choose.
Yeah, Eddie in that 88 car, he's trying to make something happen. Eddie's got a lot of sponsors. You know, these races where there's not a lot going on, we can talk about the sponsors. Mad Eddie, Hal Racing, Don's Towing, JVM Racing, and Eddie Performance Solutions all make that 88 car get around the track. So he's got a lot of stickers on that car. He's got a lot of people that he wants to make proud here tonight.
And we're seeing right now the in-car shot as he hits the outside wall. Man, that's
not good.
Yeah, that was perfect timing though. He managed to hang on to it. Looks like the right front tire is just a little bit bent inwards though, so that's something to watch out for. He could have been pushing it just a little bit too hard off turn number 4. And you can see how quickly that wall comes up. Goodness, that stresses me out, and I'm just watching this. Oh,
I don't know. If he keeps doing that, he's going to need Don's Towing to get this car out of here.
That was clever right there, though. So
thank you.
Yeah, I will say, I'll ask you from as it gets a little bit loose, I'll ask you from your experience with tracks like this. I guess we'll say Dover, when you have a outside wall that comes up from out of absolutely nowhere, probably turn 4 or turn 2 or both of those, especially at Dover. What's your thought as you slide up the racetrack and next thing you know you're almost in the path of that outside wall?
My thought is, well, I hope I didn't gas it up too quickly, and I hope I don't run into the wall, because if I do, I'm going to look stupid. Just basically that, yeah. You're just holding on and hoping that you have enough wheel input, and you didn't rush to the gas to the point where you're going to hit the wall. But these tracks are tough. Dover is actually one of my favorite tracks. I've won there twice in the Peak Series. I've always run well there, but it's a challenge. And this place is too. I haven't really run competitively at Five Flags, like in a race or anything like that, but in the practices and the hosted sessions I've done, this place is tricky. And it gets trickier when there's somebody on the outside, but even more than that, when there's somebody on the outside that's making good time, it's even harder to make time in that bottom. So I'm just excited. I'm excited because I think once we get all these cars on the track here, after this race is over in about 7 or 8 laps, we're going to see a totally different complexion. We've seen it be pretty calm. We've seen guys pretty much ride single file and bide their time. But when the money's on the line and it's time to go, this track right here, it's going to put on one heck of a show.
That's going to be absolutely exciting. And my goodness, well, 5 laps to go this time by once Krabik crosses the line. So That's just like you like you're mentioning, though, listing throughout pretty much all of the factors for racing with you racing here. That's probably not even factoring in the fact that everyone is on a complete, almost a virtually different setup from what they're doing. Some of the teammates may be more than likely using some type of variation of their own setups, or you know, variation to suit their own little driving style, and not changing too much or too little, maybe changing it completely, giving input to their teammate, having them try that out. So just factoring in the line, whether you're side by side, how much the track is worn, whether your tires are worn or not, and the weather as well, the time of day. There's so many things that factor into this, and the open steps are essentially the most major part of this as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot that goes into it. You know, watching from the broadcast booth or from the broadcast itself, just looks like a bunch of guys that are in complete control of the cars, running around the track, clicking away laps. But that's really not the case. These things are a handful, like Matt said, and although it doesn't look as obvious as it does with the dirt cars, these things have a lot of power, and they are definitely not easy to drive. But who's making it look easy is Drew Krybick. He rounds 3 and 4, and he'll win the consolation race here tonight, about 2.5 seconds over his other 2 competitors in this one. So great pace by the 12 car. I think he's going to be strong come race time.
Yeah, it's Drew Krybick, Alan Jocelyn, and Matt Eddy that round up the field, and it should be 5 minutes worth of warm-up, and it will be. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to head down the starting grid a little bit earlier on than we want to, just to be sure that we don't miss anybody and get through everybody, because my goodness, there's a lot of people here on tap. So stay tuned. This is the 4th annual SARA Fall Brawl here at the Five Flags Speedway. 175 laps in the Tour Modifieds are coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game, This is iRacing.
Back live here at Five Flag Speedway for the 4th annual SARA Fall Brawl, and we're going to see if we can get the feed back up as qualifying, or warm-up I should say, is just about to wrap up here, and well, there come 175 laps worth of, oh my goodness, this is going to be absolutely insane in that wording as well. So as per usual, I am Gary Weaver, thankfully joined by Michael Conti, and I can get my voice rested every once in a while, so I don't have to kill it throughout this entire 4 days of broadcasting. This is the second of 4, so 2 more times. Tomorrow night will be the super late models doing their qualifying night, essentially in the form of heat races, and a little bit of a fun run at the end of that as well. We're going to be seeing what their group photo is going to be looking like as well, so we still have time then, with 15 seconds remaining. I'm going to head down the starting grid for this race, and gonna do some rough math here. I'd say, Michael, we can go over the first 12 drivers. Oh, actually, a bit of... Alright, so we're going to get Michael on standby here, but he's having some technical issues on his end, but we're going to have Colin Allman on the front row. Second place will be Ty Majeski. It's amazing to see drivers that went for position. Dante Curtis starts 5th. 6th place will be Matt Rolfe. 7th will be Heath Medeiros. This is the fun part read names on the fly. Medeiros, I believe. Probably going to get corrected if that is incorrect. Christian Peterson starts 2 days outside in the 8th place position. Starting 9th, Michael Goddard. And rounding out the top 10 will be Travis Haug. Starting 11th will be Trevor Edwards. Keith Jeffrey to his outside. And 12th, 13th is Ryan Doucette. Derek Robinson starts in 14th as the field rolls off. Kyle Souza starts 15th in the number 13 machine, and to his outside starts a 21 of Kyle O'Danick. Russell Brown Jr. starts in 17th, Henry Roush 18th, Clay Snyder starts 19th, and running out the top 20 will be Jared Boyros, Scott Dunlap, Donald Clark, Kyle Case, Ty Spearman, Drew Krybeck, Adam Jocelyn, and Matthew Eddy round out your 27 field here tonight. So start rounding out your 27 starting grid here tonight. I can't really use the "it's been a long night" excuse yet. I'm not sure. Michael, I don't know, because we've been about an hour in on this.
We're back.
Yeah, Michael's got his headset working again, so he's fine now. 100.
Just got tired.
170. Yeah, I think your headset is starting to tell you something. But
Absolutely.
yeah, just 175 laps, and I'm going to give my voice a break. Michael, bring us to the green.
All right, here we go. It's going to be a good one here tonight. Colin Allman and Ty Majeski bringing us down. Pace cars in off the jump. Allman with a great start there. Majeski should slot in a second. The battle is for third. That's the 40 of Moles on the inside, and the outside of him, Connor Blades.
Waiting for everything to get sorted around on my end, and caution is already out. Back of the field, oh, huge caution, and that's going to be Drew Krybeck, and I don't see any damage on him, but Jared Boyros definitely involved. More drivers, somebody's heavily smoking. That looks to be the 2 of Scott Dunlap as well. Caution already out. Not sure what happened. I'm going to take one look at that, and my goodness, that too is heavy, heavy damage.
It looks like that all started down the back stretch there, maybe off at 2, trying to get my stuff pulled up here as well. Oh, yeah. It looks like a couple cars got into it off at 2 there. Couldn't really make out the numbers. What do you see on your end?
Yeah, so for the black screen for you viewers, we're pulling up the replay right now. So it looks to be the 00 on the top side. That is Travis Haug. Yeah, the 28 of Keith Jeffrey Hill slowly move up. I think he checked up. He did check up visibly for that 00 to not run to the back of him. Looks like that's a 69 of, I believe that's a 69. Yeah, that is. He gets into the back, and then that turns the 00 around. And then a 2 has heavy damage, so we'll see if we can get another angle of his. And goodness gracious, Travis Houck on his side, almost upside down. And he looks like the 2 gets clipped by the 13 and get heavily sent up into the outside wall. That's a 27 rather, not the 13. And a little bit more contact in the back. Somebody rear-ended the 00 completely. Looks to be the 87 or the 78, but pretty much just multiple incidents here on the back straightaway early on.
Yeah, big chain reaction right there. You get one guy checking up a little bit, and then car behind him couldn't really stop in time, and then everybody just had nowhere to go there as they all crashed and slowed off of 2. So hopefully those guys can get the damage fixed and get those things back out here and rejoin the race. Still have a long way to go. 5 laps in, 171 to go.
Yeah, many laps to go here in this 175 lap main event. And unfortunately, well, no faster pairs are available, so Scott Dunlap is unfortunately out very early on, and I'm pretty sure it's definitely not the way he wanted to start this race. So he does have 2 more chances, one more chance I should say, in the form of, well, in a way 2 more chances with the qualifying night tomorrow night and the super late models, and then the main event on Thursday night. So it's going to be pretty interesting. So hopefully Scott Dunlap can improve and recover for tomorrow night's event.
Yeah, Scott's had a rough week so far, just really doesn't have too much to show for his efforts. So as you said, hopefully the late models treat him a little bit better. But looks like pace car is going to pull back off here. Allman takes him back down green. It's another good restart. This time, though, Mullis should be inside of Majeski number 1.
Yep, side by side, Mullis to the inside of Majeski. Majeski slides up and may have clipped the outside wall. Connor Blaze instantly dived low there on the back straightaway. I'm pretty sure he saw that, so with a reaction like that, he's saying, you know what, but instead of hitting the back bumper of him, I'll move low. But unfortunately, though, single file for the most part. But Keith is going to be on the inside. I was looking at his last name, forgot how to pronounce it, but Peterson on the top side in that 54. He finished with about 4th place, I believe, last night in the Dirt Street Stocks at Volusia, and he's definitely looking to have a repeat performance here tonight.
Yeah, Peterson's got a lot of speed, and whatever he drives, I've raced against him with Cup cars, Xfinity cars, trucks. He's always quick, so expect nothing different from that 54 here tonight. Didn't get the best qualifying position, but if it's anything like last night, you'll see him up at the front before the end here.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at all the drivers heading by the start-finish line this next time around. But Ty Majeski already on that back bumper of the 40 of Mullis, but Mullis makes a little bit of a lower entry, and here's the field coming by the start-finish line. All single file, but oops, some drivers getting to the outside wall. We can see that as well. Absolutely amazing to see and hear these engines. I'm gonna go silent here for a moment, just listen to this, because this is amazing. It's absolutely satisfying to hear. So, 2nd place battle, 5th place battle rather. Matt Rolfe in a neon green Tour modified, and very noticeable aside from his same paint scheme that he and Clay used last night. So very noticeable on the track is that number 5 as he moves to position at number 5.
Yeah, it's the H&H Design Supply Sim Marketing Solutions neon green number 5. As you said, that thing really sticks out. That's a good color if you want your sponsor to get noticed, isn't it?
Now, yeah, it's an amazing color. If you want your sponsor to get noticed, here's an idea: have very bright colors. And I think that 70 Russell Brown kind of followed suit. He has a little bit of highlighter yellow, in a way neon yellow, some black and some red there, but very smart. But there's a battle just in front of them as well as Kyle Souza tries to get to the top 10, and he'll make it around that 14 of Michael Goddard for the time being.
Goddard's lost a few positions here the last few laps, so he's going to the back. Meanwhile, though, like you said, Souza, and I believe that's Brown back there as well. It is. Brown in that 70 car, they're coming to the front, but now Brown is in a battle with the 69 car as well. So 69 is moving up too.
Yeah, Derek Robinson again finished first in the second qualifying event, so second qualifying race earlier on this evening. So he's trying to get that momentum on the top side, and I just realized I was trying to get some momentum on the top side, though Dante Curtis had some errors a little bit ago, so he's going to be dropping back on the top side. And unfortunately, Keith will be on the top side, and now it's Medeiros, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. So there it is for you viewers at home, but on the inside, though, it's Trevor Edwards in that number 32. Drifts up on contact, and they still keep it going forward for the time being.
Yeah, good save by everybody right there, not to overreact. We all got it single file back out. Looks like the fight is back on with that 13 car. Got a little loose off it too there. So 13 Souza, who is moving up front, looks like he's stuck in the bottom now.
Yeah, we saw from that start-finish line camera, the 14 was right next to the outside wall. He'll move up to avoid clipping the 13 and tries to get to the inside, but that 69 of Robinson was almost there to the inside, so Robinson decides to back off, and everyone quickly single file. But look at this, the entire top three is pretty much just broken away from pretty much the rest of the pack. Connor Blaze and Matt Wolf, they're kind of in their own separate pack, and then they've broken away from everybody else.
Yeah, they sure have. It looks like those three are going to be the quick cars tonight. 40 car Mullis raced against him a lot. He's a fellow peak driver. He's run really well the last 2 years. Looks like he's got his hands full, though, with short track A's, Ty Majeski behind him in that 91 Ford Performance Tour Modified. It's going to be a hard one to hold off. Not too many people beat Ty. It's pretty hard. So hats off to Allman and Mullis right now, keeping him at bay, but looks like that 91 car is ready to go to the front.
Yeah, Ty Majeski has 10,631 I rating. Jimmy Mullis with 7,298. So, well, the only difference between actually, yeah, they pretty much outclass each other in two areas. Ty Majeski beats Jimmy Mullis in terms of I rating, but Jimmy Mullis beats Ty Majeski in terms of the licensing. And hello, a little bit of contact on the top side, and I think Ty Majeski is about to beat Mullis on the track. Yeah, he will.
Coming in.
He's going to take the top side. Mullis backs off.
Yeah, I think that top's coming in. You saw there the 91 moved up just a little bit. Got a huge run. A huge run off it too is that lap car. I think that was the 40 maybe. Kind of came off the wall there a little bit.
It's a 46, I believe. Nope.
Okay.
Continue on with what you were saying.
Yeah. So yeah, Ty's going to the front. He's moving.
Yeah, Ty's just said, all right, I've had enough of time staying behind you. Now I'm going to move up to the front if you don't mind. But Allman, don't forget, qualified in the first place position. We can see is, ironically enough, his lowest position was first place for the time being. So he's pretty much fine. Ty Majeski, though, may have another say in that. Last time around, well, a 15.134 versus a 15.121. We're 30 laps in, so I believe the lap times are a little bit lower now than the qualifying races, since the track is really starting to rubber in. All the heat from the tires and multiple vehicles on track, 46 to be exact, 25 I should say. So many drivers on the racetrack, and it's going to definitely cause a little bit of a difference here for this track.
Yeah, and again, we can see Majeski moving that line around a little bit, see if he can get off of the corners better. 67 sees that, he'll pull up to block, but I think it's just a matter of time before that 91 gets there. He definitely seems to have the pace at this point in the race.
Yeah, it's got an amazing pace, so right now it's a two-car breakaway. Mullis is on his own. Connor Blaze is kind of on his own. Let's count Matt Rolfe right there. Then in that case, those two are on their own, and then it's still the sixth place through everybody else that's just laying back, and they don't really have a choice either at this point.
Yeah, everybody just racing the track right now. And that's what you have to do in a race this long. Sometimes you just have to settle in, see what your car has, and then go back at it a little bit later. So yeah, we're strung out right now and single file, but I'll tell you what, once these cars start to fall off a little bit more, this track rubbers in just a bit more as well. These guys are going to bunch right back up, and we're going to see some side-by-side racing again.
Yeah, especially with the pit stops coming into play in this race again. At least one pit stop for tires at the very least. One, you are allowed to change one set of tires, and that is it. But of course, you're allowed to put for pretty much anything else. Fuel, damage, what have you. That's actually pretty much it. Fuel damage, maybe a little bit of hydration refuel as well. I mean, you never know. Sometimes that could be very useful. Just don't do it under green flag, or else you're going to be losing a lot of track position. So, for the time being, lap 39 of 175, and Pat Majeski's still slowly creeping into that gap that Colin Allman has set for the time for now. But about 0.36 seconds separates both of them. We'll see at the bottom of the screen. And well, Colin is actually starting to do a better job, and in a way starting to hold that number 91 at bay. And dare I say, a lot better than Jimmy Mullis. But in Mullis' defense, he has a setup a little bit different, so his could kick in a little bit later on.
Yeah, you never know what these guys might have their cars set up for. Some are going to be quicker in the short run, and some will be a little better in the longer run. See the 57 Connor Blaze, he's making inroads in the 40 of Mullis. Mullis hits the apron right there. It's extremely loose. He'll give up the bottom, and Blaze will probably take that third spot. Maybe, I think he'll get him in a 3 right here, but it looks like the 40 car doesn't have the handling for the long run at this point.
Well, he definitely doesn't have a long run anymore, as Drew Krybik has run into some issues again, so more bad luck, and ironically also out of turn number 2 for at number 12 of Krybik, and gonna rewind and see what happened to that number 12 machine, and same thing, got loose and a heavy impact again with the inside wall.
Yeah, huge hit to the inside wall there. That'll probably hurt his speed a little bit. But again, another single car spin when we could have had a much more major crash. So good on everybody to miss that. Question now is, will anybody come down pit road and pit? Looks like we've got one taker, Dante Curtis, that 03 car. He's coming in. He's got some damage though, but everybody else is elected to stay out so far.
Yeah, Jimmy Mullis actually heads to pit road, one of the drivers in the top 10. So he, maybe a little bit of damage from a little altercation, if you will, a little contact. Not seeing any tires go up, so it looks like just a little bit of a quick gas and go, or just to say, okay, do I have any damage? So that could be another thing as well. So he's just in and out, no tires for him. Samuel Roush in his pit stall, same with Krybik. And looking at the Ryan Doucette's also in his pit stall as well. That's pretty much it for all these drivers that are in pit road. Oh, can Doucette beat the pace car out from pit road? Maybe. Krybik certainly didn't. It's going off with the headlights of the pace car.
Yeah, Krybik wants to think that he did, but I'm not sure if he's going to hold that.
No, he won't.
Ooh,
he almost had it. Almost had that race off pit road, so... At the least that could happen to him, though, is the end of the longest line, but he is, at the moment, in line for a free pass. This is the first car 2 laps down. He will be letting everybody by as the pace car lights remain on this time around. Something I noticed as well, Michael, is that this race has gone by pretty quickly already. We're almost lap 47 of 175. So, let's see, that's about, what, 150? Nope, 125 laps to go once we reach lap 51.
Yeah, we're clicking them off pretty quickly here. At about 15 seconds or so, a lap, they will go by quickly. So, like you said, we're going to be working lap 50 here pretty soon. Still a long way to go. 175 lap race tonight to take home all the dough. Allman's looking really fast so far, but Majeski is just sitting there ready to pounce. Don't count out Blaze though. Looks like he's got the long run car to beat.
Just doing a little bit of rough math, and it could be roughly, essentially 15 seconds per lap, not counting the cautions, about 43 and a quarter minutes, about 44 minutes, roughly at total under green. But unless the pace car pulls back off, Colin Allman down and away. Ty Majeski will slot in behind and in front of Connor Blaze, who tries to hold out that number 5 for the time being. Peterson up to 5th.
Well, single file for the first few rows here, but it looks like Rolf is on that outside lane in that neon green number 5 car. He's going to try to pick up a position here on the 54, or at least hold him off. But Peterson, talked about him before, and he's coming to the front.
Not sure if that's neon green or highlighter yellow. That could be a mix of both, actually, but so long as it's noticeable, then it works, of course. So he'll fall back into the 5th place position, although very suiting for his car number as well. So he's definitely going to say, you know what, you guys have fun. I'm going to ride here in 5th. And a side-by-side battle for the time being. Michael Goddard in the 14 gets by the 60 of Ethan Dyros. A heavy accordion effect. The 70, Russell Brown got the worst of that as we caught the end of that. So it's going to leave the outside open for Kyle O'Danick in that 21.
And O'Danick had some pretty decent speed in the qualifier as well. So look for him to come to the front here a little bit more than he has. Position number 13 right now. He started decently far back there, so he's making good progress up front, but it's just so hard to pass when there's so many cars up in front of him, too wide.
Yeah, and too wide right now as Matt Rolfe makes his way up to 4th. Kyle Souza to the inside of Peterson as well, following that route that the number 5 was made for himself. So that's going to shuffle Christian Peterson down to 6th place. And that means Michael Goddard as well. They'll advance up to 8th as Derek Robinson looks to make a move, but decides against it. He did have a lot of momentum though, but for the time being, I'm pretty sure, and I'm not surprised that he's going to wait side by side for 13, lucky position number 13, for the 21 of O'Danick as he tries to get by Spearman on the top side.
He's trying to work that top groove. I think he knows that it's coming in, but this early after a restart, I think that bottom lane is still going to be most dominant. O'Danick, though, holding strong in the top. He's not going to let Spearman around.
Yeah, and well, last time around he almost had him clear. This time by, well, the 92 is going to back off a little bit earlier to account for that run on the top side that the 21 has. And not to say it was pretty much even between the 21 and the 92 off turn number 2, just like it is this time around. Last time around it was almost clear for the 21, and Mullis now moves to the top side after battling Donald Clark on the inside.
And Mullis, he radioed me over the caution. He said, made the car too loose, not sure what to do. So that 40 car is definitely battling a loose condition right now. Not sure if he was able to come down and make an adjustment when he stopped and didn't take tires, but looks like he's got some speed. Right. 21 is around. It was a close call.
Yeah, he saved it, almost caught it, and just on the edge of the outside wall. And I was about to say, well, you don't want to know how to not be loose, just don't hit the throttle too hard or too heavy. Replay up on your screen, just a bit of contact as per usual between the 92 and the 21, and 21 little decent impact to the inside, but nothing too major.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. We've seen cars take much harder hits than that, and they've come out pretty decently because of it.
Yeah, we see from this angle just a slide up, and yeah, it doesn't look too much. A little bit of a, not sure what I guess that's the roll bar. I don't even know what that part of it is called, but I guess it's part of the chassis. Roll cage probably is what that is, but these things don't really roll that often. Of course, anyone's ever gotten it sideways, but aside from that, more drivers in their pit stalls as well, and taking tires is Christian Peterson. Same with the 32 of Trevor Edwards. Will they take left-hand sides? Peterson's goes up, and the 32s will stay down. So, assuming one set of tires, that means, you know, 4 tires. So, Trevor Edwards has used half of that. So, the next set of tires he can only change is the left side tires. Now they go up and they drop instantly. So, probably meant to take them, but decided against it right away since the field came around.
Yeah, looks like Edwards is going to have to stop here.
You have to let the whole field by, at least up until the tail end and until the entry to, or the exit of the pit road opens up, just to, again, watch out for the field. And closing in on 100 laps to go, so closing in on halfway, roughly 24 laps from that point on. Going to wait for that lap time to update. So yeah, it should be roughly 22 laps up until the halfway point, which is pretty much about lap 87, 88.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not pitting this early is the way to go. Like Matt was talking about before, track position by pitting earlier and then staying out later might prove to be the most advantageous way to go here tonight, but who knows? If the tires make a big enough difference, somebody who pits late and gives up that track position might be able to motor back up through the field. So not really going to know until we get deeper into this thing, but luckily the lights are off the pace car. We're going to line them back up and go back to green here.
Yep, apologies for the temporary loss of feed. Just gonna wait for something to load up over here, but we'll get that feedback just in time for this green flag run that we have starting to come up once again. So next caution, we might take a little bit of a break, rest our voices, and then come back, but for the time being though, green flag is out and we are back underway here as we're gonna undergo a little bit of editing for the overlay, but for the time being though, look at that run on the outside by that 91. Ty Majeski is definitely not waiting this time.
No, he's ready to go, but good job by Allman there. He's going to hold him off, and here comes Blaze in third, 57 car, Rolf in tow. Top four, put a blanket over him. They're real close.
Yeah, and side by side between pretty much everybody else in the, pretty much from about 5th to 6th on back. Derek Robinson, he's holding his own in 7th place. Clay Snyder holding his own in 9th. Side by side between Keith Medeiros on the top side. He's trying to get beside the 92 Spearman for that top 10, and he'll hit the outside wall of turn number 4, but he keeps it going. Again, these things are built like tanks, so unless you don't hit the wall about 100 miles an hour straight dead on at a severe angle, that right side will be pretty much fine.
Yeah, 40 cars trying to come back up to the front too. That's Mollison, the JDR Graphics car. He's on the outside. He'll pass the 28 right there. Good move by him. He's trying to get to the top 10. That car is wicked loose off the 2. Hang on to it.
And surprised he didn't have the pit road yet, but actually, no. Disregard that, as apparently I forgot resetting the overlay, resets any other information, but I'll still work with this though. But nonetheless, Mullis, hopefully he can find that adjustment and find it soon as he gets right to that back bumper of Spearman. Coming through turns 3 and 4, and again entering turns 1 and 2. He's got the momentum. He's trying to maybe use the bumper, but also at the same time he's trying not to as well.
Yeah, there's really nowhere to go for him in the center of the corner right there. It probably served him well to move up right here possibly and try to get rid of some of that loose condition that he's got.
Yeah, hopefully he will be able to. He's on top of that back bumper. He's currently sitting in 12th. Yeah, he moves to the top side, although can't get it done as Spearman protects that position. But don't forget about the 20 of Keith Jeffrey. I haven't seen that name in a long time, but he's working his way on Mullis as well.
Yeah, Mullis down to the bottom of Spearman. He pitches it in. Good run through the center. I think he'll be able to get him here, but it's going to be tough. Spearman is on that outside line, and it's easy to hold him off when you're right there.
And it's easier to get the momentum off the corner since the only thing that's pretty much above you is an inanimate object. So that is moving at about 120 something miles an hour. So it seems easier to not hit a wall than somebody running right next to you, but as hard as some of these drivers are pushing, they've scraped the wall a couple times and they're trying their best to stay off of it. But Keith Jeffrey is going to move his way up to 12th place if he can get by Spearman in that 92. He's got the inside lane as Spearman outs for the middle lane.
Yeah, Spearman really not running too well right now. Not sure what's going on. He had a good car before
spin.
this couple. Ooh, spinner. Hang on.
That's the 5 of Matt Rolfe.
Peterson.
Oh, and Peterson
got collected there too.
Man, I saw Matt Rolfe on the entry of the pit road. Didn't see Peterson though. Unfortunate for both drivers though, but in a way fortunate for Matt Rolfe since he's in pit road. So we'll see what happened to Peterson.
Majeski got him.
Ah, man. This may have started a long ways way back, but we'll see what happened with the 5 of Matt Rolfe. Yeah, it's pretty much where it started. Yeah, it was definitely Majeski. We're so busy focused on everyone else in the back and side-by-side action that the front was also a thing. Matt Rolfe gets tagged ever so slightly, and there's the 54 coming around. He also gets tagged off turn number 4.
Yeah, Curtis made some pretty decent contact right there, I think, with either the, let's see, yeah, maybe he didn't get the inside wall, but just the big chain reaction right there, everybody trying to check up, so nothing they could really do. But big loser there is going to be Rolf in the 5 car, and the 54 Peterson goes around and loses a ton of track position there as well.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. 88 is going to be our halfway point, so I was relatively close with guessing on what the halfway point was, or is, I should say. And as we are going to double check this one more time, 81 laps, so we're close to the halfway point, and we'll reset the overlay one more time to get that halfway point shown up as the countdown instead of 20 to go. Now, for the time being, the picture will still be up, but our voices will not, since we're going to take a non-commercial break here for a few moments' time. So, caution lights are out on the pace car. Time and jet ski has been sent back, and we may be having a little bit of a sorting issue in the back here. And looks like everything is fine as Colin Allman brings them down to the green flag. Time and jet ski got sent to the back for the cause of caution end of line penalty. So, he's somewhere in the back, but hopefully we'll be able to...
Way in the back.
Yeah, we'll see if I can find him. There he is, number 91 in 18th position. And that's the results instead of ticker. Caution is out. Jimmy Mullis, heavy on the outside.
Ooh. Oh, man. Ooh, a lot of damage on the Mullis car. What happened there?
I definitely, we caught, my goodness.
Oh. Hit the apron and then hit the pit wall. Oh my goodness.
And hit the inside wall, then the outside wall. Somebody else flipped over in front. My goodness. Wow. A lot of drivers involved in this one.
What a mess. That's unfortunate too, that 40 was coming back up to the field, and I think he had that car pretty well sorted.
Let's see what else. And it was a massive netcode for the 03 of Dante Curtis, unfortunately, and that's something that's rare, but also something that's again just rare from the 03. The 13 gets involved, more drivers. Yeah, 13 has heavy damage, even though he didn't really hit anything, so a little bit of a landmine effect in a way. So unfortunately he's out. Somebody else was involved. That's a 21 of Kyle O'Danick. We're going to take a onboard look from his view and see what he saw from the roll bar camera.
Yeah, a lot of cars caught up in that one, and we've got some guys smoking too, so some damage there that may not necessarily be easily repairable. So I think that one might have taken out a few good cars.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too, since some of these drivers are more than likely really looking forward to finishing this race and earning the essentially $50, I believe, is the price payout. Double checking myself on that one, and it's actually, yep, $50 for that. So $225 is the total payout, but unfortunately some of these drivers are out early on.
Yeah, not even really to halfway. So guys got to rein it back in. A long way to go. Yeah, we know that carrot's out there. We know that 50 bucks is out there, and these guys are racing like there's definitely some money on the line tonight. But just past halfway that time by. Got to have a car left to race at the end. So hopefully we can get some green flag laps in here and get some racing get some racing going on again. There's plenty of time left for these guys. They just need to be patient and keep it green.
Yeah, 87 laps to go, so we are past halfway, and we're going to, well, maybe not go through everybody, because apparently that is still just a little bit bugged, but we will get that reset as quickly as possible. We're pretty much in time for the post-race show, essentially. Lights are out on the pace car. You can definitely see the entire field as they are on the ticker at the top of the screen. Take note that it's also in real time, so if anyone switches around or the gap changes ever so slightly, that is because, again, real time. So that's the fun part about this as well, is that we get to see who was where, and even if we don't catch anything, the ticker might just at some points. But pace car is about to get ready to goodness, pace car pulls off. Colin Ullman brings him down to the green flag, and Connor Blaze stuck in second. I'm starting to realize right now, and starting to become a little bit of a pattern. The second place driver spin in the back. Huge crash. Oh my goodness. That's the 0-0,
Yeah.
I believe. Well, 0-0 may have not been involved. That's the 88 of Matthew Eddy. Man. As if his bad luck wasn't enough.
Yeah, it's a little over anxious right there. It looks like chain reaction, 70 car into the back of the 88, and then just a bunch of guys plowed in right there. 0-0, Travis got a piece of that as well. So just another classic chain reaction, but looks like the 70 car ultimately got that 88 turned around there.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for that 88. So again, more bad luck for Matthew Eddy again, as if the qualifying race wasn't enough. Just a small tap sends him around and almost ever so slightly into the outside the inside guardrail, but manages to get back going. Not as bad as the 0-0 Travis Houck, however. It's got a little bit more damage on both sides of the race car.
Yeah, he's going to take it a pit road this time by and get some repairs made. He may go a lap down, just depending on how severe it is, but better to just get him done now, I guess, so we can try to have a shot at this thing at the end. Really wasn't in contention for the top spot. He's running pretty well right there in the mid-pack, so we'll see how badly this damage affects him, but quick pit stop won't hurt anything, that's for sure.
Yeah, hopefully he will be able to recover that, even though he is a few laps down. So Colin Ullman still in first. He's been pretty much leading ever since this race had started. So he's been pretty much in front of Connor Blaze. He's even held off Ty Majeski, who, taking a look at his position, well, he advanced 7 positions from 2 cautions ago. So he is A-OK in terms of positions. But he hasn't gotten the chance to get past that 67 yet. He's gotten behind the 67, but he doesn't have the speed at the time.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Ty at this point. He just doesn't have the track position. Allman's got clean track. He's got really nobody that's given him like a competitive run for that top spot here within the last couple of restarts. So I think Blaze definitely has the speed. It's just a matter of whether or not he's going to have the time with how quickly these cautions are coming out.
Yeah, apologies for that few wires, which actually I bumped into, but as you can see though, in the driver's tab, the lowest position Colin has been in was first. So he's been pretty much leading ever since this race again had started. So he's fine at this point. I don't think he's even really, no one in the main front of the race has really pitted for tires as of yet. So they're going past the halfway point, and they're going to try and stretch those tires out to the best of their abilities. As the pace car pulls off, wearing down its tires, ironically enough, Colin gets a great start as per usual. Connor Blaze slots back in the second, side by side, almost 3 wide there. And everyone is fine. Jeffrey almost went 3 wide there. I thought he was going to, but he didn't. Still side by side as the 14 of Goddard moves up to third.
Goddard up to third. Keith is up to the 4th spot. So we've got some new players kind of coming up to the front here.
Yeah, a lot of new drivers starting to slowly make their way up. Souza is now in 5th. And Clay Snyder starting to work his way around Keith Medeiros in the 60 machine, or it's actually Christian Peterson trying to make his way around Clay Snyder. That couldn't happen for the time being. Clay may actually have a little bit of back-end damage as well, but look at the scramble of cars side by side. My goodness, everyone is all over the place here in this back of the pack. There's Ty Majeski in 91. He's in 12th, and Matt Rolf's still running, though, so for the time being, he is fine.
Yeah, Majeski really hasn't made a lot of headway since that restarted in 11th, and he is still currently in 11th, so it even shows one of the fastest cars in the field. Put it back in traffic, there's just really nowhere to go. Almost into the back of the 21 is where you go. Now he's got a battle from that 32 car underneath of him, and it looks like the 32 will edge ahead. That's Trevor Edwards. He's going to get by Majeski. Going in the wrong direction is that 91.
He could be saving his tires, though, if he did not pit for those as of yet. So it is a little bit of understandable. But that accordion effect, though, as we saw there in turn 1 and 2, that's not helping him out much whatsoever. But update on the first place positions, or the first few positions, as the 60, yeah, he got into the outside wall heavily, and that's going to send that roll front to the inside, and he will continue on. But 0.6 seconds between Colin Allman and Connor Blaze.
We saw this at the beginning of the race as well. Allman really shot off to a lead over Blaze and some of the guys back here. Souza's there as well. But once the tires got some heat in them, Blaze definitely had the better car. So if we can get some consecutive green flag laps right here, we'll see if that Blaze machine, that number 57 car, can make any progress. But right now, Allman has a pretty comfortable lead. You've got Blaze under attack from Souza behind him, and then Michael Goddard in the 14 has made his way up from the mid-pack, and he's just lurking there in 4th.
And it's going to be running there if anything happens. Like we mentioned, any drivers battling side by side, let's slow them down just a little bit. We saw a little bit of a battle with the 5 when he was on the inside a few laps ago. He got by Ty Majeski, so maybe Ty's got something that no one else really has in mind. But Matt Rolfe is starting to come back from a bit of earlier incidents, and he's going to slowly work his way up into the top 10 as best as he can.
Now, another thing that might be affecting Majeski is when he got that end of line penalty, I'm not sure if he took tires. So if he's on the original tires that he started with, he's among cars that did take tires. That could be why he can't make any progress right now.
And it could be why, especially since, again, some of the drivers in the back, they could have saved their tires as well instead of using theirs up, so that could be why they're passing Ty in this case, and Ty Spearman. Ironically, Ty Majeski in the 91, Ty Spearman in the 92. They both have the same first name, so that works out pretty well for both of them. They're running in a 1-2 style position, but Trevor Edwards right now trying to put that number 69. Actually, no, that's the Keith Jeffrey machine, and that number 28 that Trevor Edwards has just gotten past. Eric Robinson is up in front of them, and he's going to be following Christian Peterson for 4th place if he can get by that 14 and Michael Goddard.
Kyle Souza has just taken the lead. Gary, where did he come from?
My goodness, even I didn't realize that. So the mid-pack battles are so exciting. Man, Kyle Souza, though, he's probably saved a little bit extra of his tires, though, more than likely. So apologies for not focusing on that, but that's just how much we're focusing on everyone else here. So nonetheless, though, thanks for that update, Michael, because I definitely wanted to notice. Even the ticker didn't really mention it, so that should be actually an idea right there. So for now, though, Christian Peterson is starting to show his momentum right against that 57 of Connor Blaze, who got a little bit loose off turn number 2, and Eric Robinson's going to follow that 54 through, just like he followed that 54 right by the 14 of Michael Goddard.
Really have some cars coming from the back here. Now we know Peterson is on tires, so that explains some of his pace. I'm not sure about Souza. I tried to go back through there and see if he pitted. I didn't see anything. But either way, Peterson 54, Robinson 69. Get some guys that are starting to make some hay here toward the end of this race.
Yeah, everyone's setups and tires are slowly starting to come in, so this could be why that they haven't really pit for tires, but once one person pits for tires, everyone will pit for tires. So we're going to see probably everybody head to pit road as Colin Allman's going to make his way by a lap car, and Christian Peterson, Eric Robinson running in a 1-2 style position. I really want to specifically, but Matt Rolf side by side with Goddard, who is slowly starting to slip back, but again, could be saving tires. That's the usual conversation now. That's just, especially with how late it is in the race, somebody's going to be paying for tires eventually, which means everyone else will pit for tires.
Yeah, these guys that have not taken tires yet, that are falling back, they are really hoping that we get a caution right now. If this thing goes any further green, it is going to be extremely hard to make any progress, even with tires, with such a few laps to go. So you got guys like Blaze who have run well earlier on in this race. He's falling back. And then you've got guys like Rolf, who was spun around no more than 30 laps ago. He's coming back to the front. So we've definitely got some comers and goers at this point.
And it's a lot of drivers that are starting to rise up, and some are starting to fall off the pace. Looking through the field, caution is out. That's going to be for the 3. No, Heavy, it's on the back straight again with the double zero. Is that a 27? Somebody else, that's a 12 of Drew Krybeck. More bad luck again for that number 12. This time
it's a huge hit too.
Yeah, this time it is race ending, and again it's off of turn number 2.
Yeah, Krybeck has not had a very good night. He's gotten loose off of 2 a few times, and then finally that time double zero actually did the same thing and collected him in it.
Yeah, man, the 12 was starting to gain a little bit of momentum, but 12 was actually pretty much right on top of that double zero. May have loosened him up the first time, maybe not, but he comes around the top side, the double zero gets loose, clipped him maybe ever so slightly, but a hard shot into that outside wall just sends him down into the lower portion of the racetrack to the inside, so unfortunately he is pretty much done for the time being.
Yeah, meanwhile, pit road is a very busy place. You've got Majeski, you got Blaze. I believe Allman is down there as well. He is. So a lot of cars that had not yet taken tires are going to take this opportunity, put 4 new tires on there, and see if they can come up through this field before the race is over.
Yeah, 50 laps to go at this point. 49. No, actually 50 laps to go right now. The field was somewhere else, but yeah, 50 laps to go, so it's going to be a interesting shootout since Kyle Souza has pitted for tires, same as, or not pitted for tires, I should say. Peterson also stayed out, same with Robinson, Edwards, Rolf. He's finally in the top 5 once again, and I believe that could be his highest position. We'll check that out. His highest position was actually 2nd. I've been under caution, I believe. Not sure about that, but no, it actually was, because that was before he got bumped and spun out accidentally from that 91 of Majeski. So Majeski's still mid-pack, although he did just pit. So he could be back up front in a few laps' time.
They sure can. We've seen just how much tires can make a difference. There's only about a half a second of fall off here tonight, but a half a second over less than a 15-second lap, that's pretty huge. So yeah, we thought that Souza might be running away with the race win there, but first car on tires is probably going to be the 69 potentially of Allman. He's in 11th. So can he make up 10 spots in less than 50 laps? I think he can. It's just going to depend on timing of these cautions and how good a restart he can get. So let's keep an eye on that Allman machine, the 67. He's got tires, so does Blaze, and so do a few others back there. So we'll see what they can do here in the closing laps of this race.
You can see the distance already that Allman is putting between, or Souza, he's putting between himself and that pace car, because that pace car wants to get off as quickly as possible. It does. Souza down and away already. 47 laps to go in this 175 lap main event, and already Derek Robinson gets by Peterson. Will Matt Rolf follow him through for that 3rd place that Peterson's currently in? For the time being, no, but he's definitely working hard on that inside lane.
Hey, Robinson was our qualifying race number 2 winner tonight. So he didn't have, again, the best starting spot. Started probably right around the 10th position or so. And he's up to 2nd. So just seeing so much moving throughout this field tonight. So much movement as Rolf gets awfully close to the 54-1. These guys are racing for it, and these lap times are extremely close. The field is not that separated, So you put some tires on any one of these guys, they're going to come to the front. And we're seeing that right now at the 69 and the 5 as they've made their way up to second and third.
A little bit of a bump almost from Christian Peterson as well to the 5. And, well, that's usual short track racing as well. Again, these things are sort of built like tanks. And I say sort of depending on how hard you hit them against a concrete wall. But nonetheless, though, something that I realized is that Kyle Souza, he's running a 14.948. He's running 14.9 second laps, and that's almost relatively close to the qualifying race laps that we've been seeing. It's at about 14.7 to 14.8 range.
And Allman is flying. He just got held up there a little bit from the, oh, hang on to it. That's going to, oh man, that's going to hold him up. Allman was flying, but he's just lost 2 spots now, possibly 3. 28 and 91 on fresh tires have gotten around him. That's going to make his night that much more challenging.
Yeah, remember when I said Tyron Jesky was mid-pack? Well, now I'm incorrect, but he's up to 7th. Matt Rolfe makes his move on Derek Robinson for 2nd place. Christian Peterson just going to ride in the back and just watch this happen. Majeski's going to make his move on those 2 drivers in front of him. Trevor Edwards in 5th, Keith Jeffrey in 6th. Jeffrey's going to go side by side. That's not going to help Majeski out for now, but he could make it through, follow through with Keith Jeffrey.
Keith is paving the way for Majeski right now, but I think Majeski has a bit more pace. He's just going to have to figure out a way around. These guys are tracking about a 1.5 seconds off the leader, but even with that pass, they were still quicker than Souza and Rolfe. So these tires are going to be better. Working lap 139 right now. Do they have enough time to get there? That is the question.
Majeski definitely has time to get there, especially at this pace. He's ran about almost a 10th faster than Kyle Souza the last time around, but he'll opt to take the high side, move to the low side, right behind Peterson, and
3 wide.
Yeah, almost maybe 3 wide, almost so close. Couldn't get it done though, but man, he is trying to get there as quickly as possible, and it's working out with those fresh tires.
Yeah, he's getting there. He's gotten around Jeffrey, which was important because that was another car in fresh tires. He's going to clear Peterson off of turn number 2, and that will put him into the 4th position, still tracking about a 1.5 seconds off the leader.
Dive to the inside on Derek Robinson now, make that an easy pass in the book. This is no
Not
side.
quite.
Yeah, well, yeah, almost. Derek Robinson saying, you know what, I'm not going to let you by. So, well, yeah, there's the momentum. My goodness, it's amazing to see that momentum change mid-corner for even if it's a 0.5 second. But now Tyron Jesky sets his sights on the 5 of Matt Rolfe, who is currently in the 2nd place position. And last time these two were together, well, Matt Rolfe got bumped and spun, essentially, by that 91. So we may not see Matt Rolfe play a little bit nice, but we could as well. But that's just something that we're going to find out. So side by side, Matt Rolfe not giving up that outside lane, though.
No, he's not, but that doesn't matter. Majeski gets around him. He is flying. He's going to get there now. He's going to get there. Will he have enough tire left when he gets there to battle Souza? I think he will. We're coming to 30 to go this time around, so plenty of time for that 91 to get to the front.
Yeah, but don't forget as well, as Souza nails the pit exit cone. Entering to, he'll get loose.
He's going to mistake.
He saved it, though.
Oh, man.
Will he head to pit road? No, he opts to stay out instead. No, that's a bad move, though. He'll get spun out on the front straightaway. Caution is going to come out.
Oh, man.
Oh, and more caution. More wrecks in front as well. Somebody's around. I believe that's Clay Snyder. No, that's Kyle Danik in the 21.
Man. Souza, you know, he wasn't in the best position as far as tires and lap time, but he was in a great position, track position-wise, and that mistake off of 2 really just put him in a hole tonight. I don't think he's going to have enough time to get back up there.
I'm going to rewind this a little bit. I knew there was some type of problem when he nailed the pit exit cone. Way too low on the apron as well. It nails the pit exit cone, sends that up the racetrack, gets loose off of turn 2. Somehow saves it. Nice wheeling, though, from that 13. But unfortunately, somebody comes up behind him. That's a 32 of Jeffries. Maybe got loose, maybe a little bit of a tap, but oh man, somebody else. Heavy impact. That's the 56, I believe. The 55 of Doucette. That's a 55 of Doucette that also got involved in that as well.
Yeah, Doucette was our qualifying race #1 winner, so tough night for him. I thought he'd have a little bit more of a showing here, but unfortunately just the chips really haven't fallen the way for the 55 car so far. But when we restart, we're going to have about 25 laps to go. There's still some time to make some things happen. I think now, though, everybody's job just got harder. You essentially have, if not the best car, close to the best car, with, you know, a guy that's, I think he's got the highest tie rating out of anybody on the simulation. It's going to be a challenge to get around him. But I've seen some great things out of these guys tonight. I've seen Keith Jeffrey run with Ty. I've seen Allman outrun Ty before a mistake. So he's not going to be able to walk away with this thing, Gary, but it's going to be awfully hard for these guys to get around that 91 with such a short time to do it.
It's going to be very, very difficult. 25 laps to go for now, but I'm kind of surprised, actually, as we're going to lose the feed here for a quick camera readjustment. But aside from that, though, I'm surprised that no one has really picked up on the pattern of the restarts, because most of these drivers are really pretty much starting out as the lead drivers that are bringing the field to the green. They're bringing that field to the green and pretty much in the middle of turns 3 and 4, but somehow the second place drivers have not really noticed that as of now, or maybe they just didn't have enough time. But lights are out, and that feed will come back in just a few more moments time. Apologies, but just want to make sure everything was a-okay, and it is. So this is going to be a pretty interesting restart with 23 laps to go.
It sure will be. I don't think this is going to be our last restart either. I think the intensity is going to pick up from here. Pay window's open for these guys. They don't have a lot of time left to make things happen. Majeski wastes no time, and he'll gap the second row by 4 or 5 car lengths into turn 1. What a restart for the 91.
He is on fresher tires. Somebody goes up the racetrack. That's the 57 kind of blaze. 3 wide for a few moments in the back. But side by side, we're going to head back to that 3 wide. Yeah, I saw that just out of the corner. Connor Blaze got forced way up the track. Keith Jeffrey somehow makes his way up to the second place position. Right now he's going to be under attack from the 67 of Colin Allman, who I believe may have taken tires on that last caution.
Yes, sir, he did. But so did Jeffrey, but I think Allman's had a little bit better car all night. Great run off of 2. He'll slide up and he'll clear that 28 car. And he's got to get clear of him if he wants to catch Majeski. He cannot waste time, and time he does not waste right there. He gets around him, and he'll take the fight to the 91. Yellow flag's out.
Yeah, caution
Front
is
stretch.
out on the front straightaway. Not sure who it is. There they are. It's the... Well, actually, we're not going to get them as of yet, but we will pull up that replay for you, however. And on that front straightaway, that very driver was Clay Snyder in the number 3. He made some contact with the 26 of Samuel Roush. 27, rather, of Samuel Roush. Oh, Clay just blew up, actually, out turn number 3. And then I think Samuel Roush got turned, and then they made contact just ever so slightly, but Samuel Roush got turned, so that could have been the main cause of the caution.
Yeah, that's what it looks like there, and like we had thought before, the last restart was not our last restart. We're going to have at least another one here with arguably the 2 fastest cars on the front row. 91 Majeski, 67 Allman. They started 1-2. They run 1-2. It's opposite, though. We know Allman wants to win this thing, and so does Ty. Question is, who can get in front of the other? Just like that street stock race last night, we said whoever can get in front of the others off of turn 2 in the restart will probably win the race. And Gary, I think that same can be said for tonight.
Yeah, that same can definitely be said for tonight. It's the same, not really mentality, but the same thing that we've been saying. A little bit of a tagline, if you will, but at the same time, not really. So I believe if we get the 2 to go signal the next time around, then it should be a nice and easy 15-lap shootout to the end of this race. And then your top 3 will be interviewed, and then we'll be signing off until tomorrow night, which is the super late models at the Five Flag Speedway, of course, but it is a qualifying night, so nothing really major. It's a little bit of a qualifying night and a fun run plus a group photo, so as the lights remain on, it's going to be a 14-lap shootout, and I'll see if I can pull up the information. So it should be just a regular qualifying session with the top 8 advance to the race, and actually called that early on the group photo. That's for Thursday. Wednesday night, regular qualifying race 1, 2, and 3, where your top 5 advance. That's a 60-lap race, 75 laps C main and B main, possibly, and then a 25-lap top 11 dash, where it's the top 8 from qualifying, and then the 3 qualifying race winners. So again, just a little bit of a fun run for the end of the night tomorrow, but it's going to be quite interesting to see how the field stacks up for Thursday night.
We will see. And you said nice and easy last 15 laps before. Gary, I don't think we're going to have anything nice and easy about these last 15 laps. These guys are going to go for it. 91.67, 28.69, pace car in. Here we go. 91 with a good start. 67, decent start. He'll fall in behind, but Majeski will get the advantage down into 1 and 2.
Yeah, about the major advantage, though, is the tires from Colin Allman. Not sure how many tires, how many laps, I should say, exactly fresher, but fresher enough to definitely run down the 91 already here with 0.2 seconds separating them, just about 2.5 car lengths, now 3 car lengths off turn number 2. With the lights closing down, it is go time for that 67.
It sure is. You got a little tight off of turn 4 right there. Not going to lose too much time, though. Still about 2.5 car lengths. It looks like Majeski's better in 1 and 2, but Allman's got the advantage in 3 and 4.
Allman's got that advantage, and, well, lap time difference at the line this time around. Lower exit from Majeski. That's going to mess him up. He may have gotten loose to the back bumper already in turns 1 and 2. It's Colin Allman. He wants to force him out of that way, and, well, if that wasn't go time, I don't know what is, but 1/10 faster, 1.3 seconds faster than last time around. This time around, it looks to be 1 point. Well, never mind. Caution back out.
I was just getting ready to get good, too.
Oh, heavy impact. And again, it was the 88. Just caught a glimpse of him there. Matthew Eddy with more bad luck. And that's Samuel Roush from 27 also smoking. And 32 of Trevor Edwards smoking as well.
Yeah, Roush has had a pretty tough night, and so has Eddy. Just, some of the guys that we've seen in earlier incidents just fighting for anything they can get back there. And unfortunately, just fighting off a little bit more than they could chew. It looks like Eddy and Brown are racing there, so is Spearman, but it actually all starts in front of them.
Yeah.
Blaze and was that Trevor Edwards, I believe you said. Yeah, they got into it. They got loose off of 4 and just collected Eddy and some of those guys in the back.
And we're going to take an onboard look from that 27 of Samuel Roush coming off of turn number 4. They've gotten clipped from behind. Heavy impact into the inside wall.
Yeah, that'll effectively end most of their nights being where they were. I don't think any of them had any intentions of getting up there and winning it tonight, but maybe a solid top 10 was definitely in the realm of possibility, but unfortunately now with that damage, that's going to make it hard for some of those guys.
It's going to be really unfortunate, too, to start competing for the win, especially with how little time we have left here in this race as we come back live. 7 laps to go as of right now, so this could be a 4 to 5 lap shootout. So it's going to be essentially the point of no return when we take the green flag.
Yeah, that's going to be it. Last caution of this race will probably end it. So will it be Majeski in that 91 car again? He started second. On the night. Can he capture the victory here, or can Colin Allman, who started on the pole, get back around Majeski? I think passing him is going to be a tall order, but if there's anybody that can do it, it's going to be that 67 car. He's proven his strength and he's proven his speed time and time again tonight. Will he have the time, though? That is the question.
Yeah, he just needs enough time. He got to the back bumper, but it took him a couple laps to get back up to speed, and then to get to that back bumper, that 91. So once he got there right away, he immediately went straight for again, the back bumper of the 91. So just in case you haven't started to notice a pattern here, well, there it is. It's going to involve the 97, the 90, the 60, goodness, the 67's front bumper, and maybe a little bit of loosening up. But this time by, lights will be out on the pace car. It's going to be a 4-lap shootout. This is going to be absolutely wild, and this is where Colin will have to be on his toes for this restart.
He's going to have to get a better restart. He got a decent one last time, but he cannot let Majeski clear him into one. He's going to have to roll a little bit quicker, anticipate it, try to get ahead of him, do something different. But if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to let Majeski get the advantage. I just don't think he can make up that time. Working 3 and 4 pace cars in, Majeski's off. Good start by Allman, but it's not going to be good enough. He'll be right at his bumper, but not close enough to challenge on the outside.
Now, hopefully he can get somehow around. He's going to have to really push for it. Doesn't go this time around, and this is going to be the main battle that we're going to be looking at with 3 laps to go at the start-finish line. And Colin Allman, the pulsator, are going to try.
Right there.
Yeah, he's right on the back bumper. Colin Allman, the pulsator, are going to try and get by the second-place start from Ty Majeski. 2 more laps to go this time by.
Yeah, he is so close. He's got a little bit better exit. He's just not close enough. He's got to get a little closer if he wants to use the bumper. Working off of turn 2 into 3. This is coming to the white flag right here.
Yeah, white flag this time by for Colin Allman. Any wrecks that happen, well, who needs a caution anyways? This time by through turns 1 and 2, there's a wreck in the back. That could be it, but it's trying to somehow get around, but it won't work. And Ty Majeski starts second. He'll finish first after getting sent to 18th as Colin hits the outside wall coming out from turn number 4 after pushing so hard.
Good job by Majeski there. He had some adversity in the middle of the race with that incident with Matt Rolfe in the 5 car. Turned him around, got sent to the back. Had a good caution there. It was timed well, and he was able to take tires. Worked his way up to the field really well, and came out with the win. So congratulations to Ty Majeski. Great job, Colin Allman in the 67 car. He'll finish second. Keith Jeffrey third. Goddard fourth, and Ryan Doucette. Ryan Doucette, after a late race incident, will come home in position number 5.
And we're going to go through the rest of your results here in just a few moments. Going to give the overlay one more reset, and there it is. We're going to get these results back up as Ty Majeski burns it down in the background there and barely nudges the inside wall. But as Michael mentioned, the top 5, Majeski, Allman, Jeffrey, Goddard, and Doucette. We're going to have Christian Peterson finishing in 6th. Matt Rolfe finishes in 7th. 8th place is going to be Derek Robinson, and possibly the biggest mover of the race, Ty Spearman, from 24th to 9th place. Absolutely amazing job by him. It's actually plus 15 positions. At the moment, Ty Spearman's got the most. Kyle Souza started at 15th. He moves up 5 positions to 10th. Travis Houck finishes in 11th. Matthew Eddy finishes at 12th. 13th, Russell Brown Jr. 14th, Donald Clark. Connor Blaze finishes in 15th. Possibly the biggest loss as he started in 4th place, unfortunately. And same positions gained for Eddy and as well as Ty Spearman. 16th, Trevor Edwards, Kyle Case, Samuel Roush, Keith Medeiros. Clay Snyder rounds out your top 20, and then the rest of the 27 car field are Kyle Odanik, Drew Krybick, Dante Curtis with the largest loss. Don't scratch that. It's going to be Jimmy Mullis, who finishes behind Adam Jocelyn, and it'll be Jared Boyros and Scott Dunlap rounding out that field. Top 3 interviews coming up in just a few moments' time. Stay tuned on the Racing Line Broadcasting Network, as this is the soon-to-be post-race show, essentially, of the 4th annual SARA Fall Brawl Spectacular here at 5 Flag Speedway from the Tour Modifieds.
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And we are back live here at the Five Flag Speedway for the essentially post-race show of the 4th annual SARA the 4th annual H&H Science Supply Fall Brawl Spectacular, and something I almost completely had forgotten. Of course, H&H Sign Supply, whether you're a professional graphic artist who needs vinyl sign making supplies or you're a crafter with a big project, H&H Sign Supply can fulfill your needs for inkjet printable vinyl, wide format printers, sign blanks and stakes, banners, cutters, and many, many more. So if you're serious about creating high quality signs, but if you want to use affordable vinyl and sign supplies, place your order today with H&H Sign Supply. And of course, to get 15% off, go to hhsignsupply.com. Use the code SARA15 for 15% off. Of course, restrictions may apply, but the offer also expires on December 31st of this year. So we're going to go third to first in the form of starting with Keith Jeffrey, and Michael Conti is standing by with him.
All right, so we've got Keith Jeffrey here, driver of the 28 tonight. Keith, congratulations on third place. Really good run tonight. Tell us about what all went down and what you had to overcome here tonight.
Thanks, guys. Actually, I think lap 1, I had a little incident and I got some damage. I decided to pit early and take it and try and get it fixed. So I had to come from the back there, and then I just wanted to wait as long as I could on the tires. I knew they'd be important at the end, and fortunately, I was able to drive up through there with Ty and Colin, and didn't quite have anything for those two, but I think I definitely had a top 3 car.
For sure. You started off tonight 12th, like you said, got some damage early on. Tell the people at home, how hard was it to pass tonight? I mean, it looked like it was a single groove racetrack. Just walk us through setting up a pass and the difficulties you faced with that.
Actually, I think as long as you were patient and just waited, it wasn't too bad. You just, it was slick enough that you just had to wait for the guy in front of you to bobble a little bit, and then you could get a run. Obviously, the top got better and better, so it wasn't ideal to just drive under somebody, but I think it was better than we expected, actually.
Yeah, that's what we had seen too. It looked like the top came in and there was some decent maneuverability for you guys. So it was a great race, a lot of action. Appreciate that all you guys did tonight. Before we let you go here, tell us a little bit more about who makes it happen for you team-wise, sponsor-wise. Who do you have helping out?
I got to thank my buddy Kyle and East West Promotions. We've been running together for a while now and do some fun stuff on here. And then Untamed Motorsports, been racing modifieds with those guys for a couple years now. They kind of took me in when I was new, so couldn't do it without either of them. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, thank you for your time, Keith. Congratulations again on third. Again, everybody, that's Keith Jeffrey, 28 car, third on the evening. Going to throw it down to Gary Weaver, who's caught up with second place, Colin Allman.
Oh, there we go. Some microphone issues on my end, but nonetheless, though, sitting here with the second place finisher in the number 67, Colin Allman. Colin, you started in first and you unfortunately came up second, but you still put on an amazing performance throughout the night. My goodness, how's that track out there tonight?
Track got real tight, especially off of 4. We kept getting tighter and tighter off of 4s, but luckily I wasn't getting tighter than everyone else. So car was really good in the long run. Started to pull away from Ty there, which gave me a lot of confidence that we were going to win it, but didn't play out tonight. Got back in traffic. The traffic was kind of tough to get through, and but it was overall a good race. Have to thank gotta thank my mom first off, because being a broke college student, she helped me out with the entry fees this week. So got to get an interview for her tonight. Got to thank guys at Front Stretch Mafia, Keith, Brandon, Adam, Michael, and Mark. We were pretty hard on the set for throughout the week and day, and got it pretty good.
I definitely did an amazing job and still managed to pull off a second place finish. Of course, you kind of already beat me to the who'd you like to thank portion, but is there anyone else, though, that you'd like to mention aside from everyone else that you've already mentioned?
I think Dad's watching. Not sure if my grandparents are watching. They may be here. And I think my girlfriend's watching too. So shout out to them for watching, and hope you all enjoy the broadcast. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for the broadcast.
That's all right. It was definitely amazing for our end too, aside from voices. But that's what 4 days does to you. So, or 2 days, I should say at this point. But thank you for coming over here and putting on the show for us.
All right, thanks, guys.
That was. All right, here's hoping everything is a-okay. We're gonna wait a few moments here. All right, it is appearing on our end, so everything is fine. Yeah, just like Tim said, again, sorry for the sudden crash, everybody. Apparently Windows decided to absolutely update out of nowhere with no prompt whatsoever, but we'll see if we can get Ty in here. Ty Majeski, do you have us?
Loud and clear.
All right, sorry for the delay. Just had an impromptu Windows update from out of nowhere with no notification, but nonetheless, though, everything is fine. So on the bright side, everything is back up on YouTube's end, so at least my end of YouTube.
Go for it.
So yeah, sorry for that once again, but as we don't have B-roll, we will still mention that he did come off with an amazing win after getting sent to the back with the cause of caution to the EOL. So thankfully you did manage to pull off an amazing win after working your way back from, I believe, 18th all the way to first throughout the course of the second half of the race.
Yeah, first of all, I wasn't where I needed to be in the beginning of the race. Just way too tight, especially after turn 4. I was okay in 1 and 2. Colin was a little bit better. And got into Matt a little bit. And like you said, I had to go back to the end of the longest line there. And I was just kind of riding right there because I knew we were all going to have to come down pit road. And my initial strategy was to try and short pit it to jump the track position. But it didn't work out. I waited 1 caution too long. We ended up going green and didn't get my track position that way. But fortunately, I was able to avoid some of the chaos coming up through the field. I still think it was a track position game. It was kind of a race between maybe Colin, and Connor Blaze up through the field. And whoever got there first was probably going to win the race. So thankful it was me tonight. Sometimes better be lucky than good. And that was evident here tonight.
I think my microphone was muted on OBS, but no, it wasn't. Everything's fine. Right, so yeah, he did manage to pull off an amazing win, and tire strategy also pulled off as well. So question that you actually made your way in through the first qualifying session. So how was the first qualifying session versus the actual race itself in terms of the track surface?
Yeah, it certainly rubbers up and it gets hot. So it's really hard to judge, how much your tires are actually falling off. So sometimes you don't know how important tires really are just because the track surface and the heat of the track surface seems to almost matter more than the tires physically wearing out. So thankfully it worked out. But like I said, I was going to try and short pit it. I'm kind of glad it didn't work out that way because it seemed to be that tires were more important than I had anticipated. So, but overall, it went my way tonight. Hopefully, it goes my way again on Thursday night. I haven't run the Super yet this season, but I'm going to give it our best shot on Thursday.
Before we go ahead and let you go, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to for your win here tonight?
Yeah, of course, all my sponsors for performance, my team, the posse. We worked really hard on setups throughout the week, and we put a lot of time and countless hours in, and it shows. So hopefully we can put some more work in between now and Thursday and have ourselves another win.
Well, we will definitely wish you luck for Thursday night, especially Wednesday night, since that's when it all goes down for the qualifying. But as far as Thursday goes, good luck as well, and we hope to see you once again.
All right, appreciate it, Gary. Thanks.
So that was Ty Majeski. Michael Conti is currently away at the moment, but aside from that Sun Windows update out of nowhere, just like Tim said, it was better it was tonight after the race and not Thursday night. So he does have a point there. It's better to have it happen during an interview versus not during an interview. So didn't really miss anything, and we came back. So if there's anything off on that end, this will be re-uploaded as an actual video. And that is pretty much it. Michael Conti again, currently unavailable, but for Michael Conti, I am Gary Weaver, and remember to tune in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern for the qualifying races tomorrow night in the super late models. This is the Racing Line Broadcast Network, and hopefully won't have a sudden updates out of nowhere tomorrow night. So we're going to double check on that, and we hope you all have a good night. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night.